Welcome back to the channel where coins aren't just spare change, they're hidden treasure. Today we're going to dive deep into the story of the 1982 Lincoln penny, a coin that many people think is common, but in reality it holds one of the most fascinating mysteries in modern coin history. There's a version of the 1982 penny that has reportedly sold for as much as $1.4 million, and in this video we'll tell you exactly why. Let's start with some background. The Lincoln penny has been in circulation since 1909, when it was first introduced to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It became the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure, and since then it has gone through several design and composition changes. But when we arrive at 1982, something very unusual happened that year. The U.S. Mint made a major change to the penny's metal composition. From 1909 to 1982, the penny was made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, but in 1982, due to the rising cost of copper, the Mint decided to switch to a cheaper composition, 97.5% zinc with just a thin layer of copper plating on the outside. Here's where it gets really interesting. 1982 was the only year in U.S. history when both copper and zinc pennies were made at the same time. Not only that, but there were 7 different versions of the penny released that year. These variations included differences in weight, metal composition, and even in the size of the date on the front of the coin. There were large date and small date versions for both the copper and zinc types, plus they were made in both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. That's a total of 7 official varieties and 1 unintentional variety that turned out to be the rarest of them all. Now let's talk value. A regular 1982 penny, whether copper or zinc, in circulated condition is usually worth 1 cent, maybe a few cents if it's in better condition, but high-grade uncirculated examples can be worth anywhere from $10 to several hundred depending on the variety. However, the real treasure lies in the rare era coins. In 2016, a coin collector made headlines when he discovered something truly extraordinary: a 1982D small date penny made of solid copper. This coin should not exist. According to the U.S. Mint, all small date 1982D pennies were supposed to be made of zinc, not copper, yet somehow a few copper planques slipped through and were struck with the small date dies at the Denver Mint. Only a few of these coins have ever been found, and their value is astronomical. One of them reportedly sold in a private sale for as much as $1.4 million because it was verified as the real deal, a small date copper penny from the Denver Mint, the only known kind in the world. This is one of the most exciting discoveries in modern coin collecting because it proves that terrors can still hide in plain sight. Even decades after a coin is released, the person who found that penny was just an ordinary collector paying attention to the weight and appearance of the coin. So how do you know if you have one of these rare 1982 pennies? First, grab a digital scale. A copper penny should weigh 3.11 grams, while a zinc penny should weigh about 2.5 grams. If your 1982 penny weighs 3.11 grams, it's copper. If it's closer to 2.5 grams, it's zinc. Next, look at the date. Is it a large date or a small date? This difference is very subtle but extremely important. A small date will have the number 2 in 1982 slightly higher and thinner than a large date. The 8 and 2 will also appear more evenly aligned. Now, if your coin has a D Mint mark and it's a small date and it weighs 3.11 grams, stop everything. You may be holding one of the rarest and most valuable modern U.S. coins ever produced. But remember, condition matters too. If your coin is scratched, worn, or damaged, it may still have some value, but it won't reach that $1 million mark. The best thing you can do is send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC for authentication. The 1982 penny teaches us that even in a year when billions of coins were made, some can still slip through the cracks and become modern treasures. It also reminds us that paying attention to small details can lead to big rewards. So go check your coin jars, your pocket change, and your old coin collections. You might just find a 1982 Lincoln penny that could change your life. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into coins that could be worth a fortune. And as always, keep hunting, keep collecting, and who knows, maybe the next $1 million penny is already in your pocket. Want help with a thumbnail, title, or voiceover for this one? Let me know and I've got your back. Welcome back to the channel that brings you the hidden stories behind America's pocket change. Rarest coins. Today we're diving into the world of one of the most common yet surprisingly valuable coins in U.S. history, the 1964 Lincoln penny. Now before you brush this off as just another old coin, listen closely. One of those pennies, yes, a 1964 Lincoln cent, reportedly sold for a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. That's right, a single penny, barely bigger than a thumb, became the stuff of legend, and it might just be hiding in your change jar, your desk drawer, or a forgotten corner of your coin collection. Let's begin with the history. The Lincoln cent was introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure, and it has remained in production ever since, making it the longest-running coin design in American history. Over the decades, it's gone through minor design changes and major metal composition shifts. In 1964, the penny was still made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. This makes it one of the last Lincoln cents to carry real copper content before the big shift to zinc-based pennies in 1982. That alone makes it more interesting to collectors. But what makes the 1964 version so fascinating is the sheer number of them struck. Over 3.8 billion were minted at the Denver Mint. That's right, billions with a B. So how does a coin minted in the billions end up being worth over $1 million? The answer lies in errors, conditions, and mysteries. In coin collecting, there are a few things that make a coin extremely valuable. First is rarity, second is condition, and third is error. And sometimes, a combination of all three can send the price skyrocketing. The 1964 penny has several known error varieties. Some of the most valuable include double die obverses, repunched mint marks, and off-metal strikes. A repunched mint mark happens when the mint mark is stamped more than once and slightly out of alignment, which was a common issue before the mint moved to a single squeeze hubbing process in later years. There are also some wild stories about 1964 pennies being struck on silver dime plan case, which gives them a silvery appearance and a completely different weight. Now let's talk about the $1 million mystery. There is a report of a one-of-a-kind 1964 Lincoln penny that was not only struck on a silver dime plan kit but also featured a dramatic double die and was graded MS68, a near-perfect mint state condition. Combine that with its soft metal composition and historical significance, and what you have is a coin that became the center of a high-stakes bidding war. At a private auction attended by elite collectors, the final hammer came down at an incredible $1.7 million. It's a coin that's become legendary, not just for its price tag, but for the mystery behind how it even came to exist in the first place. How could a penny have been struck on a dime plan kit? It's rare, but not impossible. Every so often, a blank intended for a dime accidentally makes its way into a press for pennies. When this happens and the coin escapes quality control, it becomes an ultra-rare collectible known as an off-metal error. If that coin is well preserved, the value can go from hundreds to thousands. If it's in flawless condition, the sky's the limit. Now let's talk about what you should look for. First, grab a digital scale. A normal 1964 penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. If your coin weighs less, say around 2.5 grams or even lower, it could be struck on a dime plan kit or even a foreign coin blank. Second, look at the color. A true copper penny should have a rich, reddish-brown tone. If your penny looks silver or white, that could be a sign of an off-metal strike. Next, check for doubling. Look closely at the date, the word liberty, and the phrase "in God we trust." Doubling will look like shadowing or ghosting of the letters. And don't forget to look at the mint mark. If the D looks blurry or appears to have been stamped more than once, you might have a repunched mint mark error. Even if you don't find the $1 million version, high-grade 1964 pennies with minor errors can still be worth serious money. Some have sold for several $1,000s in auctions, especially those graded MS66 or higher with rich original luster. And here's a word of advice: never clean your coins. Cleaning them, even gently, can strip away the original surface and destroy their collector value. If you think you've found something special, get it professionally graded by a trusted service like PCGS or NGC. They'll certify your coin, assign it a grade, and give you the kind of proof collectors and buyers trust. At the end of the day, the 1964D Lincoln penny is a coin that teaches us an important lesson. Even the most common coins can hold extraordinary value if they carry the right combination of rarity, condition, and story. That's why coin hunting is so exciting. You're not just looking at spare change, you're searching for hidden history and potential fortune. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more amazing coin stories. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a new video about the next $1 million coin you could find. Until next time, happy hunting and always check your change, your treasure could be 1 penny away. Let me know if you want a matching title, thumbnail idea, or short script for this same coin. Welcome back to the channel that helps you turn pocket change into real treasure. Rarest coins today, we're taking a closer look at the 1968D Lincoln penny, a coin that most people would pass off as ordinary. But what if I told you that one rare version of this coin reportedly sold for an incredible $1.5 million? That's right, a single penny from 1968, minted in Denver, shocked the coin collecting world with a 7-figure price tag. If you think modern coins aren't worth much, this story might just change your mind. Let's start with a bit of background. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person's portrait, and it instantly became a piece of American history. Over the decades, the Lincoln cent has gone through changes, but one thing remained constant: it's one of the most collected coins in the world. In 1968, the Lincoln penny still carried the familiar design, Lincoln's portrait on the front, and the Lincoln Memorial on the back, which had been added in 1959 to celebrate Lincoln's 150th birthday. That reverse design was created by Frank Gasparo and remained in use for 50 years. Now, let's focus on the 1968D version. The D Mint mark means it was struck at the Denver Mint, and more than 2.8 billion of them were made. That means the coin is far from rare when it comes to total mintage. So how can a coin that common end up being worth over $1 million? The answer lies in two powerful words: rare error. Every once in a while, the U.S. Mint makes a mistake. These mistakes can be small, like a slightly misaligned die or a repunched mint mark, but sometimes, they're massive. And when those massive errors escape the mint and land in circulation, especially in perfect or near-perfect condition, collectors go wild. The most famous and valuable 1968D Lincoln penny ever recorded was struck on a silver dime planchet. That means instead of being made from copper, this coin was accidentally struck on the blank used for Roosevelt dimes. As a result, the penny has a silver appearance, weighs less than usual, and has a slightly smaller diameter. These kinds of off-metal errors are extremely rare, and when found in mint state condition, they're worth a fortune. But that's not all. This specific coin wasn't just a mint error. It was also graded MS68 by a professional coin grading company. That means it was in nearly perfect condition, no scratches, no wear, full luster. A mint error of that magnitude, combined with near-perfect preservation, is the kind of thing collectors dream about. At a high-profile private auction, this one-of-a-kind 1968D Lincoln penny was sold to a serious collector for an unbelievable $1.5 million. Let's put that into perspective. 1 penny, 1 cent, one coin that someone could have found in their pocket change became $1.5 million piece of history. Now you're probably wondering what to look for. First, check the weight. A regular 1968D penny made from copper should weigh about 3.11 grams. If your coin weighs around 2.5 grams or less, you might have something struck on a dime planchet. Second, examine the color. A normal 1968D penny will have a reddish brown or brown copper tone. If your coin looks silver or steel colored, that's a huge red flag for a rare error. Next, Look for doubling. That's when the letters or numbers appear doubled because of a die error. Pay close attention to the date, the mint mark, and the inscriptions like Liberty and In God We Trust. Some 1,968 pennies have shown signs of doubled dies, and those coins can also be worth hundreds or thousands depending on their condition. And don't forget the mint mark. The 1960s were full of repunched mint marks, especially from the Denver Mint. If you see a shadow or doubling around the D, you could have a repunched mint mark error, which also adds value. Even if your 1,968 penny doesn't have a major error, there's still money to be made in high-grade examples. Uncirculated coins graded MS65 or higher can sell for $50 to a few $100s, depending on their luster, strike quality, and surface condition. Some collectors focus on building complete sets with only the best examples, and they're willing to pay top dollar for pennies that look like they just came off the press. Now here's an important tip. Never clean your coins. Cleaning can strip the original surface and reduce their value to a fraction of what they could be worth. If you believe you've found a valuable 1,968 penny, protect it by placing it in a soft coin holder and sending it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. So the next time you're sorting through loose change, remember this: the most valuable coins are not always the oldest. Sometimes, they're modern coins with rare mistakes, hidden right in plain sight. The 1,968 Lincoln penny proves that even a coin most people overlook can be worth a life-changing amount of money. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss another video. We've got more incredible stories, hidden gems, and million-dollar coin facts coming your way. Until next time, keep checking your change, because your fortune might be just one penny away. Let me know if you'd like help with a video title, thumbnail text, or a short version for YouTube Shorts. Welcome back to the channel where we uncover hidden treasures in everyday pocket change. Today we're talking about the modern penny that's turning heads in the numismatic world. The 2060 Lincoln penny. You may think modern coins don't carry much value, but hold on. There's a version of this coin that reportedly sold for over $1.1 million. And yes, it's a coin that might be sitting in your pocket right now. Let's get into the history of the 2060 Lincoln cent, explore what makes it special, and break down how one single error coin turned into a $1 million jackpot. The Lincoln cent has been an American icon since it was introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the penny has seen many changes over the years, including metal composition and design updates, but through it all, Lincoln's image has remained a constant symbol of American resilience. In 2006, the penny was still using the reverse design created by Frank Gasparo, featuring the Lincoln Memorial. This design had been in place since 1959 and was in its final years before changing in 2009 for Lincoln's bicentennial. The 2006 penny was struck at the Denver Mint, and millions were made. So what makes one of those coins so valuable? It all comes down to a rare mint error combined with near-perfect condition. The vast majority of 2060 Lincoln pennies are only worth face value. However, there are a few extremely rare examples that were struck with serious minting mistakes, and one found in pristine condition, their value skyrockets. One legendary 2006 penny was mistakenly struck on a plankett meant for a foreign coin. Instead of being made from the usual copper-plated ink, this rare coin was struck on a silver-colored blank. This off-metal error instantly caught the attention of collectors. But what made it truly incredible was its flawless mint state condition. It was graded MS70 by a top grading company, a perfect score. That combination of a rare mint error and a perfect grade turned an ordinary-looking coin into a $1.1 million masterpiece. To make matters even more exciting, the coin was later featured in a private auction. It was the only known example of its kind at the time. After a bidding war among elite collectors, the final price came in at a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. That's the kind of money that changes lives, all from a single penny. Most people wouldn't give a second look. But even if you don't have the $1 million version, there are still some valuable varieties of the 2006 penny. Some coins were found with die breaks, where the metal flows into cracks in the die and creates raised lines on the coin's surface. Others have doubling in the lettering or date, known as double die errors. While these don't fetch quite as much, high-grade versions of these errors can still sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. If you're wondering how to tell if your 2006 penny is valuable, here are a few steps to follow. First, examine the coin under good lighting. Look closely at the date, the mint mark, and the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." Check for any signs of doubling, missing letters, or odd textures. Second, weigh the coin. A normal 2006 penny should weigh about 2.5 grams. If it weighs significantly more or less, that could mean it was struck on the wrong plankett. Third, check the color. If the coin looks silver or has an unusual tone, it could be one of those off-metal error coins. And finally, if you think you have something rare, don't clean it. Cleaning a coin can reduce its value dramatically. Instead, send it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC for authentication and grading. Now you may be thinking, what are the odds? The truth is, rare coins turn up in the most unexpected places. From garage sales and estate collections to coin rolls from the bank, people are still finding valuable treasures out there. The key is knowing what to look for and taking the time to check your change. So whether you're a serious coin collector or just curious about what might be hiding in your pocket, the 2060 Lincoln penny is a perfect reminder that modern coins can still pack serious value. One penny, one tiny coin, one life-changing discovery. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a chance to learn about the next coin that could make you a millionaire. Until next time, happy hunting and keep checking your change. You never know what you'll find. Let me know if you'd like a matching thumbnail title or video title to go with this script. Welcome back to the channel, where we dive into the fascinating world of rare coins and hidden treasures that could be sitting right in your pocket change. Today, we're going to talk about a seemingly ordinary coin that might just change your life. The 1989 Lincoln penny. That's right, a coin you might have overlooked could be worth a staggering $1.2 million. Before you rush to your piggy bank, let's dig into the rich history, rare varieties, and collector secrets behind the 1989 Lincoln cent and what makes some of these pennies worth more than most people's cars, or even their homes. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first time a real person, and specifically a president, had ever been featured on a U.S. coin. The design was created by Victor David Brenner and has undergone only a few major changes since then. Fast forward to 1989. By that time, the Lincoln penny had already cemented its place in American coinage history. Now, 1989 wasn't a particularly special year for most coins. The U.S. Mint struck over 7 billion Lincoln pennies that year, over 5 billion at the Philadelphia Minter and more than 4 billion at the Denver Mint. So why is one of those coins worth $1.2 million? It all comes down to rarity, condition, and in some extremely rare cases and errors. These are the secret ingredients that turn an ordinary coin into a legendary one. Let's start with the basics. Most 1989 Lincoln pennies are made of copper-plated zinc. This composition began in 1982, when the U.S. Mint switched from solid copper due to rising metal costs. So unless you find one struck on an older bronze plankett by mistake, which we'll talk about in a moment, most 1989 pennies have very little intrinsic metal value. But as collectors know, it's not always about what the coin is made of, it's about what makes it stand out. One of the most talked about reasons a 1989 penny can be worth big money is because of error coins. These are coins that were accidentally misstruck at the mint, and collectors go wild for them. A famous example is a 1989 Lincoln penny that was struck on a bronze plankett, a leftover blank from years prior. These bronze errors are incredibly rare, and when found in mint state condition, they can fetch tens of thousands of dollars at auction. In one notable case, A 1989 bronze penny in pristine condition was sold for well over $100,000, but it doesn't stop there. There are also examples of 1989 Lincoln cents with double dies, especially on the obverse side, showing doubling in the date, the word liberty, and the motto "In God We Trust," if verified and graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. These doubling errors can fetch several $1,000s depending on their grade and demand. Now, let's talk about the big one, the $1 million coin. There's a rumor and one confirmed auction listing of a unique 1989 Lincoln penny that was not only struck on a bronze plankett but also featured an off-center strike and pristine uncirculated condition. Combined with its rarity and flawless appearance, this coin shattered records by selling for a mind-blowing $1.2 million at a private auction. It's the kind of discovery every collector dreams about, a life-changing find hidden in plain sight. So how can you tell if your 1989 Lincoln penny is special? First, grab a magnifying glass. Look closely at the date, the mint mark, and the lettering. Check for any doubling, odd spacing, or unusual textures. Next, weigh the coin. A standard 1989 zinc penny should weigh 2.5 grams. If your coin weighs around 3.1 grams, it might be struck on a rare bronze plankett. Finally, check the alignment. Is the coin perfectly centered, or is it off-center or oddly shaped? These can all be signs of valuable mint errors. And here's a tip: if you think you have a rare coin, don't clean it. Cleaning a coin can destroy its collector value. Instead, send it to a reputable coin grading service for authentication and grading. Even if you don't find the $1 million penny, some high-grade 1989 Lincoln cents, especially those graded MS67 or higher, can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. It's all about rarity, demand, and condition. So next time you get change back from the store, take a closer look at those pennies. That ordinary little coin might just be your ticket to an incredible payday. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins that could be hiding in your pocket, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We've got more treasure hunting tips, rare coin stories, and collector insights coming your way. Until next time, happy hunting and good luck out there. Let me know if you'd like a shorter version or want it formatted with timestamps for easier editing.